Welcome to Sacred Sunday Sadhana. Take some deep breaths. Align yourself with your true self, with your center. Bring some breath and awareness into your spine, into the area just below your belly button. Let that awareness spread all the way down through your sex organs, through your legs, through your feet, into the ground. Breathe again. Let your awareness go upward from the ground, through your feet and legs, back through your sex organs, through your third chakra belly area, through your heart center, your collarbones, your throat, the roof of your mouth, into your third eye space, out the crown of your head, and far above your head into space. I wanted today to talk about what gets you high, what makes you feel like you're vibrating at a higher frequency, and can you give yourself more of that? And can you start to notice when you get into those lower vibrational states? So speaking from a chakra standpoint, when we're in these low vibrational states, we're vibrating at a low frequency. We're thinking about surviving. We're thinking about finding food and shelter. We're thinking about protecting ourselves from being afraid. We're thinking about procreation. We're thinking about our individual self, meaning it could be our sense of style, our job, our purpose. So that's the root, the sacrum, and the solar plexus. It's not that vibrating at a low frequency is bad. We have to stop the duality of thinking some things are bad and some things are good. We don't have to have categories like that. Things just are what they are. And we need that vibrational frequency, obviously. We need to be afraid of getting hit by a car. We need to try to attract a mate. We need to have an idea of what it is that we want to do in the world. So having these low vibrational frequencies is very necessary. There's no mistake in the human design. But what about when you're vibrating at a higher frequency? What about when you're feeling like you're living from your heart? You know, when you see people without judgment, when you see people without berating them or comparing yourself, what's that like? What allows you to live in that open heart space? What allows you to speak authentically from your throat center? What allows you to listen and tune into that intuition, that third eye space? Sometimes if you close your eyes, you can actually see what's happening better than if you have your eyes open and you're just using the sense of sight. What does it feel like when you're aspiring and you're just feeling really connected to a higher power? What does it feel like when you feel like you're downloading a message from the angelic realm or from the stars or from your spirit guides? Do you have a frame of reference for that? Have you experienced that? I recently had a really great day. Every day is great. This planet is beautiful. I'm so lucky to be on it, and even if it seems like a shit day, I'm just really happy to be alive. I choose to be alive. I choose to be here. And this week, you know, as a woman, it seems like we've got like a 7-day period where our hormones are sort of conducive to a peaceful and just like go with the flow kind of vibe, because there's the menstruation, which is even for the best cycle that you could possibly have, it kind of it's draining, it's exhausting. The body is doing something. The body is busy, and we're losing fluids, we're depleting. And then there's just after that comes that week which I'm talking about, which is the week that I've had, which is just like hormonally totally balanced, feeling great. After that comes ovulation, where our creativity peaks. It doesn't last a week, it just lasts a day, but it's like euphoric, and it can feel really wonderful. For some women, headaches come around that time. But then immediately following that, we get into the week or so period of time where we're just a little more sensitive and perhaps more irritated, and the chemistry is not balanced. So all that said, I had a really wonderful, balanced week this week, and I got to have several epiphanies. One of the things I've been thinking about is the vibration on which we operate. And I've been thinking about how I can notice when I'm starting to sink down into a lower vibration. So if someone in my household tries to bait me, you know, because I don't think that it's a conscious thing, but we do kind of bait each other. People kind of reach out for what they need from another person based on what they're feeling. And someone in my house recently, I felt like, was baiting me. And instead of dropping into that, I just decided instead I was going to choose not to engage. And so that's the exact thing I want to talk about. How does that look? How do you do that? Like, how do you pick that apart? The way that I did it was, I first it's an awareness, noticing and like starting to have a reaction rise. For me, it's like a defensive reaction. Someone says something, you know, in a tone that is not respectful or is sort of accusatory, and I notice my defenses immediately coming up. And then in that moment, I just decided, you know, I have the power to say this thing and to like push back, but I also have the power to just kind of like let that settle. And so I viscerally felt it kind of just go back to whence it came. And at the same time, I was like, you know, I'm having a really good day. And I thought of a little GIF that I've seen of C-3PO dancing around on some planet. I think it was from a Star Wars special that everyone makes fun of, that I've never seen, but it's a cute GIF. And for me, the song popped into my head. Ain't nobody gonna break my stride. Ain't nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I've got to keep on moving. And like, it lifted me up. And then I got to respond from this high vibrational state where I was just, I think I said something very passive, like something like, I'm not sure. And then I just skipped out of the room with the little C-3PO GIF playing in my mind. And then immediately I looked at my phone, and there was a message in the text thread from school that was talking about an assignment that's been thrown on us at the last minute. And again, like I felt the response or the reaction where I might have joined in with my classmates and been like, this is not fair, or oh my gosh, what were they thinking? But instead, I actually sent the C-3PO GIF, and I was just like, ain't nobody gonna break my stride. And so it might be a silly example, but what can you do? Like, do singing and dancing and funny visual representations allow you the space? You just need a little space. It's not even a lot. But could it allow you the space to move out of reacting into responding? Because in the response, there's a choice. In the reaction, it's like knee-jerk, this is what's going to happen. And it's not beneficial for our growth. But if we can respond, then we just get to grow and expand. And the beautiful thing is, if we do something one time, then there's a groove. You know, we've got this groove that is worn, and it's easier to fall into that groove if it happens again. And that's why it's so hard to break a habit, because we've got these like heavily worn grooves of like reacting. Someone says this, I'm reacting. But instead, like, what can you do? What can you specifically do to raise your own vibe so that you are responding from a space where you're not in the first, second, and third chakra? You're not feeling defensive because there's no fear. You're not trying to attract a mate. You're not trying to outrun a bear. You're not trying to get away from traffic. You're not trying to like prove to anyone that you are an individual who has your own worth and you have your own plan. What if you can just be someone who is an observer of what's happening and living with compassion from your heart, with forgiveness, with gratitude, speaking your authentic truth, saying words that are kind, and just leaning into your intuition, feeling that connection to divine. Wouldn't that be great? And we can't do it all the time. Or can we? So I leave you with that. What can you do to raise your vibe? What makes you high? What makes you feel like you're on top of the world? After I did that, it started raining, it hailed, there was a little thunderstorm, and immediately there was a double rainbow outside my door. So my daughter and I got to go dance around a little bit. It was still raining, there's a rainbow. It was so much fun. And I'm still feeling it. Instead of being almost like hungover from a fight that could have ensued or just bad juju, bad vibes in the house, instead I just feel like the good vibes carry on, you know? It's almost like I lit some sage and smudged my house, except I just did it with my own energy, effortlessly, and that feels good. Thank you for being here with me, and I hope that you find ways to get high, to raise your vibe. Namaste.